Hello, I'm Jashykins, and welcome to my review of the Fringe episode Blotter. And this was the fucked up episode this season. This was the episode 19 of this season. This was holy shit. But let me first talk about my favorite part of this episode. Some of my younger viewers may not remember it, but Monty Python. I've seen couple episodes of Monty Python's Flying Circus, and I have, of course, seen The Holy Grail, which is an awesome movie, and you need to see it if you haven't already. What does this have to do with Fringe? Well, at one of the points where Walter seriously trips out, there's a little nod to Monty Python. They do the artwork, music. It was fucking awesome. It was just, that scene came up, I was fangirling like crazy. But besides being an awesome scene, there were a few things to take notice of in this awesome tripping sequence. There was the fact that I saw one of the glyphs, the seahorse, which seems to be the one I always really take notice of. It's always like, oh, there's the seahorse. But anyways, there was a seahorse. There was also the point, I didn't pick up this myself, but a YouTube commenter sort of pointed out that back in season 1, when RDJ, I think that's the initials, had, when Olivia was trying to get some information out, and RDJ asked the question, where does the gentleman live? And the answer was Little Hill, and there was a Little Hill in that sequence. And the gentleman in question was Walter. And the glyphs for this episode spell out guilt. And throughout the whole episode, it's always Walter questioning himself. And who is the knight in shining armor on the hill? It's who Walter considers who he used to be, is the man that he's trying to run away from. So I thought it was very interesting symbolism there. Awesome sequence, is deep. There's the death of Sam Weiss. Now, for those of you who can't remember, he appeared back in season 3 and was very integral in getting Olivia back to normal, and also was basically a protector of the first people. And he just is dead in this episode for whatever reason. I really hoped with that sort of character they could have had a better death than, oh, look, there's this person who died in this freak accident that we don't know how it happened. Okay. I don't think Sam Weiss really deserved that death, and it came up as more as a nod, but it is still good to see that Sam continued to help out. And of course, there's the rumor circulating that September is the little child, the child observer. Now, I forget his last name. I don't think I could really pronounce it if I did remember. But the actor who plays September, his first name is Michael. And and this child is Michael, so people are pointing that out as saying, hey, this means that he's September, and some of the theories that have come out seem to be very well, so I'm hoping that the child turns out to be September. And there were just so many points in this episode. As I said, the glyph spelled out guilt. And there were two people that were opposite, pulling Walter in opposite directions. On one hand was Walter's old lab assistant, who looked very sexy this episode, I must say. And she was the one pulling Walter away, like trying to basically damn Walter's soul. Just saying, do all the wrong things. And then you had Nina being the good version, and saying the opposite of whatever the lab assistant was saying. And this is very weird, because Walter does not trust Nina at all. He might work with her, but he's always like, no, I don't trust that bitch, don't trust that viper. So it's just really weird. And on Fringepedia, they have plot-relevant questions for each episode, and they seem to talk about, well, Nina and the lab assistant being embedded by two different people. They decided that William Bell embedded Nina into Walter to make him able to resist whatever the observers planted in him, and that would be the lab assistant. I only know this theory through the plot-relevant questions on Fringepedia, and especially with a show like Fringe, I definitely read up a little bit before doing anything, because this show is so fucking complicated. It's good to read some other people's opinion to do it, so I think the only reason I would agree with the Nina being embedded was because it makes no sense. As I said previously, he does not trust Nina. And Peter still being an observer, well, Peter's having headaches and not able to sleep. So it's just like, is this some residue from the observer tech? Because in this episode, he doesn't seem to use any of that power, but maybe the power will return. Because I still want to see Peter as an observer. So I was sort of disappointed with no observer power, so I was like, I heard the headache, and I'm like, yes, maybe, little hope, little hope. And the whole thing, of course, this episode started with Astrid waking up and hearing a sound, and it turns out to be the radio. And Walter is there, like, just there and kind of saying, nice hair, Astrid. And then Astrid's like, are you tripping? And it's just like, holy shit, what do you think? It's a day that ends with Y. Peter's going to be tripping. Yeah, I love my drug, Walter. So yeah, that's it for the Fringe episode, Blotter. Long story short, this episode was fucking awesome. As with any Fringe episode, don't just watch a random episode without, having watched the others previously, because this is a great episode. It does explore Walter. It does have great moments like the Monty Python scene, but you need to know the background or else nothing will make sense. In fact, this is my review that doesn't make sense with no fault of my own, but because you haven't watched this series, which you should do if only for Walter Bishop. Let me just say before I end this video here that Walter Bishop is my favorite Fringe character. Peter Bishop is the hottest. And I have been Jashykins, owner at jashykins.blogspot.com. If you want to contact me for whatever reason outside of YouTube or my blog, you can do so at facebook.com/jashykins fanpage or on Twitter at jashykins. If you're viewing this on YouTube, subscribe, like, comment below. If you're viewing this on my blog, use the handy dandy, if you're on my blog, thank you just for watching. Thank you for visiting my blog. Look through older articles and shit. But if you want to support this blog financially, go to the donate box. And you have two options. You can use the handy dandy donate button, or you can go to Cafe Press Shop, my Cafe Press Shop, and support my blog that way. Either way would be appreciated. And I just love Fringe so much, and I'm sad that this is its final season. These are the final episodes of Fringe we will ever have. The new episodes, hopefully things will be resolved. And well, I'm just sad about it. And until next video, goodbye.